All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning. Great to see you again for Mornings with Marcel and Friends for this Tuesday, February the 28th. And as we do, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to this great nation of ours. We got the verse of the day. The five things is just around the corner. So bear with me, and we're wrapping up the Black History Month. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. All right, then. Tuesday morning, which means it's time for a look of what's happening around the world and all the news you need to know to start your day. Brought to you with the colleagues at CNN, the real Total News Network. Many people will watch it. All right, then. Starting with most popular around the world, or most people rather, have long returned to their pre-pandemic lives, ditching face masks, dining in restaurants, and attending packed concerts, among other things. Meanwhile, one of the major cities to edge back toward normalously, Hong Kong, which only announced today it will end its controversial COVID-19 mask mandate, nearly 3 years after it was enacted. So, with all the five things you need to know to get up to speed and on with your day, this is it. This is freaking it. So let's go. Starting with the student loan debt here in America, where the Supreme Court will take up two challenges today concerning President Biden's student loan forgiveness program, with a decision expected by late June or early July. The initiative aimed at providing targeted debt relief to millions of student loan bearers have so far been stalled by legal challenges. Republican-led states and conservatives opposing the program say it amounts to an unlawful attempt to erase an estimated $430 billion of federal student loan debt under the gulls of the pandemic. The cases being heard today will also ultimately provide guidance on payments that have been paused since 2020 and interest and accrual on student loans. You can view this timeline to see how the Fed education borrowing system began in the 50s and how it ballooned into a $1 trillion problem for Americans. 3 past the hour now. In a surprise visit to Kiev yesterday, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen met with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to reaffirm U.S. economic support and to announce the recent transfer of $1.25 billion in assistance. Addressing the Russian economy, which has not buckled under an array of sanctions from the U.S. and other Western countries, she said, expects it to grow weaker as the country loses foreign investment and runs through its reserves. So she said, we will see an increasing toll on Russia's economic treasury over time and their ability to replenish the military equipment that's been destroyed in their attacks on Ukraine. That's been very greatly jeopardized. This comes as Ukraine's military says units of the Russian mercenary group Wagner are throwing their most trained units into the battle for the eastern city of Bakhmut, where the situation is extremely difficult due to nonstop assaults. Nearly 50 million people across the Northeast are under winter weather alerts today as a storm that brought tornadoes and damaging winds to the central U.S. sweeps into the region. New York and Boston, are on track for their biggest snow events of an unusually warm winter with 4 to 6 inches of snow and ice expected. Boston is expected to up to the same thing. The word 4 inches of snow through tonight, which would be its biggest snowfall of the season as well. As some Northeast residents get their first taste of snow this season, a new storm system is hitting the West Coast with more than snow, high winds, blizzard conditions, and unusually cold temps. Right after another storm dumped half the amount of the snow there last week. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill yesterday that gives him new power over Disney, effectively punishing the entertainment giant for speaking out against the Republicans' political agenda. The new law amounts to a state takeover of the Reedy Creek Improvement District, a government body that has given Disney unique powers in Central Florida for more than a half a century. Especially Florida is the city Orlando itself, and Florida is Tallahassee, the capital city of the Sunshine State as well too. It allows the governor to replace the district's existing board with a 5-member body that he handpicks. The move against Disney comes nearly a year after the company spoke out against a Florida bill, which DeSantis later signed into law to restrain certain classroom instruction about sexual orientation and LGBTQ gender identity. And finally for you this Tuesday morning in 5 things, in the wake of the mass protests in Mexico City over the weekend, President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador of Mexico dismissed concerns about his plans to shrink the country's electoral watchdog and accused protesters of having links to drug traffickers. Many protesters have signs that read, "Hands off the INE," reversing the National Electoral Institute, which oversees elections, has been accused of partisanship by Lopez Obrador. Mexican lawmakers last week approved a bill backed by the president to cut the budget of the agency, which could lead to an 85% reduction in its staff, as well as the closure of several local offices. Local offices or officials warned that change will affect their ability to run free and fair elections ahead of the 2024 general election, where he was limited to a 6-year term, is expected to anoint a successor. Now, today's number 30. That's how many days until TikTok must be removed from all government-issued devices, the White House said yesterday. U.S. officials have raised concerns that the Chinese government could pressure ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, to hand over information collected from users that could be used for intelligence purposes. I will read the quote from Rupert Murdoch, of the chairman of the Fox Corporation, take place in just a bit. But first, today's Bible verse of the day for Tuesday is Romans 15:14. I myself am convinced, my brothers, that you yourselves are full of goodness, complete in knowledge, and competent to instruct one another. The prayer to you: dear Father, thank you for placing the people in my life who have shaped, taught, correct, and supported me in my life with you. I am thankful for your support of me through their words, example, and touch. Thank you for giving me a family and friends to travel with on my journey home to you. In the name of Jesus I pray, amen. The thought for the day: while we may be flawed and imperfect, Paul reminds us of how important, competent, and useful we can to be to each other. While hope is in God, he has given us each other to help us in our walk of faith. Remember, when we walk by faith and not by sight, let's not live as isolated islands of faith, but lean on each other and learn from each other as we look to Christ for our salvation and strength. Once again, Romans 15:14, I myself am convinced, my brothers, that you yourselves are full of goodness, complete in knowledge, and competent to instruct one another. Now, today's quote from Rupert Murdoch, the chairman of Fox Corporation: I would have liked us to be stronger in denouncing it in hindsight. So admitted that admitting in a deposition that some Fox News host endorsed false claims that the election was stolen back in 2020 during the pandemic year. The filing also revealed that Murdoch privately blasted some of former President Trump's election lies as BS. We don't say it on internet or the media, and damaging. His remarks were made public in a legal filing yesterday as part of a $1.6 billion lawsuit filed on behalf of dominating voting systems against Fox News. Whoever thought? He's a fraud. That's 5 things you definitely need to know on this Tuesday morning. And now, prepare yourselves for some laughs on this Tuesday. We'll get to the jokes and also the end of Black History Month. The theme for this Tuesday is Black Resistance. That's the name of the Black Resistance, as always, here on the 5 things coming right up. First, Tuesday's thought for the day. One small positive thought in the morning, afternoon, and evening could change the whole day or change your whole day. I'll read it. I'm going to read it to you one more time, folks. One small precision thought in the morning, evening, and afternoon could change your whole day. That's Tuesday's thought for the day. And now as you might know, my white charger USB for the Samsung Galaxy 7 light is been ripped overnight, but the USB port is going to be almost trying to get away with it, try to make loose. So at 10 in the morning, my Uncle Kareem gave us the new charger for myself and my brother. So prepare yourselves. And then at noon today, he will call as always to my brother, my Uncle Dynamite, for some groceries. So prepare yourselves. Fingers crossed. It could be a changing day. What's your day routine look like? So let me know if the chat is available to you live as always. All right, then. Now, here is Tuesday's joke of the day. Why we Taco Tuesdays introduced? Well, that's because they wanted to give us something, Taco, about the whole week. Yes, because they wanted to give us something to taco about the whole week. Why would Taco Tuesdays introduced? Because they wanted to give us something to tackle about the whole week. How about this one? Why are Sundays stronger and more powerful than Tuesdays? Well, weekday. Because Tuesday is just a weekday. W-E-A-K, day. Weekday. Do I get it right? Make that joke. Oh, yes, indeed. This Tuesday. It's Tuesday morning. Whoever thought, though. Yes. And now, whoever thought that the Black History Month will continue to wrap things up? The theme is Black Resistance. And last week, I told you before about Rosa Parks, but who it will be the next? Who will be the next name for the Black History Month? As always. Oh, I can remember this. Her name is Harriet Jacobs, and this Black History Month is all about her. She was an African-American abolitionist and writer whose autobiography, Incidents in the Life of the Slave Girl, in 1861 published under the pseudonym Linda Brent, now considering an American classic. She was a slavery, born and raised in Edenton, North Carolina, was sexually harassed by her enslaver. I can remember this. Harriet Jacobs. When he threatened to sell her children if she did not submit to his desire, she hid in a tiny crawl space under the roof of her grandmother's house. She could not stand up in it. After staying there for 7 years, she finally managed to escape to the free north, where she was reunited with her children Joseph and Louisa Maltidia and her brother John Jacobs. She found work as a nanny and got into contact with abolitionists and feminist forces, even here in New York. Her freedom was in danger. Until her employer was able to pay off her legal owner. During the immediately after the American Civil War, she went to the Union-occupied parts of the South together with her daughter, organizing help and founding 2 schools and fugitive and free slaves. She was 84, and she died in Washington on the 7th day of March, 1897, almost getting in to the 1900 mark, the 1900s to 1990s. Wow, that's a long one. So Harriet Jacobs is one of Black History Month's names himself, beyond Marcus Garvey, Matthew Henson, Booker T. Washington, and Daniel Hale Williams. So many of you, even Charles True, from 1904 all the way to 1950. Did I get it right? Do I get it right, people? Hope Tuesday so far, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my uncle Kareem will buy some USB ports for the Samsung Galaxy 7 tablet as well. Mine here is the black charger, as always, for the Amazon Fire 7 tablet. My uncle Kareem gave it to me, as always, many years ago. So let me hear the sound for you one more this time. Yep. So according to this, it will be 59%, all getting up to the 100 mark, as always, here. And a Fire 7 tablet, and a Samsung Fire 7 tablet featuring the tablet case. I gave it for Christmas. It will be 25%. 25%. So the best of the both worlds, the tablets to keep it safe, always to connect on what's happening with the apps, settings, etc. Everything you might have to path on. I'm still working from home, and that's final. No need to go out. All right, then. What's your Tuesday so far to have yourself before I head in the showers and eat breakfast? Let me know if you got chats, as always. Yes, I just say what Victoria and Larry are so happy about me, and they said, Marcel is a dominant person. Respect to it. Respect to this person. He got all this correct. And I do agree with you. And people do agree with everyone. Can you hear that? That's my Pandora music playlist to start the morning and starting the day ahead before the new USB 7 USB port for this is about to get delivered. It's just a few hours. So let me see. My uncle Kareem, my brother Spank will call Kareem at 10 in the morning. Right now it's 9:20. Speaking of my brother, Spanky, come out for a minute. Folks, I know what you've been thinking. This is public. This is public, but this is privacy. We want to see my brother's undies on the rip that. Sorry about it. Oh, hello. He left. He left. Oh, would you like to tell the viewers about it? Would you like to tell the viewers about it? What we have the agenda for today?
What's the agenda?
Oh, tell the viewers about it.
Hello to everyone watching. I'm not completely sure about the agenda. But upon reading on this, it looks as if that this is the last day of Black History Month.
Yes, it is. But what's the agenda for today? Since we spoke to Kareem about it.
Well, in about a few minutes or so, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to give him a call.
Yes.
Then at 12 noon Eastern Time, I'm going to call another uncle of ours. And hopefully by then he will answer. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yes, it is.
By 12 noon today, but I will be on the phone
or messenger.
Yes, I am. I will be on there with them at 10 a.m. and then at 12 noon.
Yes, right now it's 9:20. But I want to show you what's happening in your face. We all know, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that you've been thinking of right now. It's all white stuff. Would you like to say the white stuff, all of the beard, all over the place, just like the future? The white stuff's everywhere.
Well, that white stuff is actually gray hair, I think.
What?
Yeah, I've gone gray in places on my beard.
Same as mine, too. We got gray all over the place. Even Pops. Dino, too, Kareem. All of the men got gray hair.
Exactly.
The question is, if you are the new or older man of gray hair, the question is, tell the viewers about it, Spank.
Well, it happens. It's a part of life, you know. It's a part of life when you get to a certain age, you do begin to grow a little gray.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, stay right where you are because I'm going to take this gray off.
Yeah. But it's something I can handle, no problem.
But something we.
Yeah.
Try it this way, but something we.
Well, we're gonna take care of this gray hair situation sooner rather than later.
Thank you, brother.
One more thing.
Let me see.
One more thing. For anybody watching, I thank you for allowing me to show myself for all of you. So thank you again.
Oh, Spank. You got to see this. This is from RepMD, and we want to see whether you and me will read it together about the shades of gray.
You read it out loud. I can't really see that. I can't really see that much.
Well, try it lower here. It says a woman's hair is their crowning glory. Sooner or later, that crash will start to gray. That is going to be start to gray. You are now face a decision. Banish gray hair with dye or rock a silver mane. Cards back.
Whichever you pick, know the facts about your gray strands to keep your hair looking and feeling its best.
Yes. Also, Science of Gray says your hair follicles. I don't know what the word is. Have pigment cells that make melanin, a chemical that gives your hair its color. As your age, these cells start to die. That's right, start to die. Without pigment, new hair strands grow in lighter and take on various shades of gray, silver, or eventually white.
Gray.
Yes, it is all gray.
Well, once a follicle stops making melanin, it won't make colored strands again.
Yes. When and why it happens. Tell about it.
That's stressful job or unwilling.
You might.
I said you might blame your stressful job or unruly teens. It's mostly your genes that dictate how early and how quickly it happens. So if your parents had a full head of gray hair in their 30s, there's a good chance you will too.
I'm 30 next in you're still 29.
30. I was born in 92.
Yes.
I'll be 31 this Thursday.
Yes, check the calendar. That will be on the 2nd. I'm 30 in October. And you know why? We're in the third. You know why? Because of gray hair or even any dandruff you have. Oh, check yourselves. You're going to be die for sure. Tell them about it.
Well, if what we're reading is true, then it's definitely true.
Yes. Next, how race plays a role on average white people or black start to gray in their mid-30s. Asians start in the late, and African Americans usually don't see color changes until the mid-40s. That's right. White people start to gray in their mid-30s. Asians start in the late one, the same number as well. And African Americans usually don't see color changes until their mid-40s. So 25 if everyone are white, 30 of us are Afro-Americans, and 25 if everyone is Asians. Well, problems to turn hair gray, lack of vitamin B12, certain rare inherent tumor conditions, thyroid diseases, vitiligo, a condition that destroys pigment-making cells in the scalp. And of course, we would like to say a well-deserved thanks to my brother, Spanky, for joining me as well. And the rest of you, you have yourself a good Tuesday ahead. I'll see you and yours right back here, as always, next Tuesday morning for more of Mornings with Marcel and Friends. Going to wait for 9:30 before my brother's going to call Kareem in just a couple of minutes. Have a good day ahead. I'll see you back.